The next thing that we're going to do here, besides liquefy, is we're going to go ahead and take off all the little blemishes on our face. You know, if you know how to do this, just skip this part, or I'll chop up the tape. So, I mean, it's different sections, but if you don't, or if you just want to see how I do it, then go ahead and watch. A lot of people overdo it, and they make people's faces look really untextured, unnatural, looks painted. I personally hate that. It's like so obviously photoshopped. You can just get filters that'll do it for you. There's no reason, if you want that look, to actually do what I'm doing and actually clean each blemish or line or imperfection one by one. You just get a filter like Portrait Pro or something like that. I don't know what they're called. And just apply the filter, and you'll get a very smooth skin with no texture or anything. She won't look like a person anymore. She'll look more like a painting or a cartoon or a caricature of a person. The realness of the photo will fade, and you will get a surreal image of a woman's face and skin tone, and it's going to look obviously doctored. It's not by any means, if you're going to use one of those programs, what I'd consider professional. I have almost never seen them used for like magazine, especially not editorial. I've never seen anything like that used in Vogue, or even Victoria's Secrets for that matter, even the catalog. I'd steer away from it. It's, you know, it's cool effect the first couple times you see it, and after a while you're just like, oh my god, it's such an obviously quick fix that I don't know anybody that really does amazing work. I'm sure steers very clear of any kind of filter for the face, unless they're just using a very, very, very light version, and that's only part of the work that they really do. You know, I'd prefer to see nothing done to the face and all the little blemishes left on than to see people use those filter programs. My roommate turned me on to one. He's like, oh, check it out. You can just use a filter. And I tried it, and, you know, I used it on one of his pictures that I was retouching. And to this day, every time I look at the picture, I can't stand it. I can just see the filter on his face. It disgusts me, actually. Sorry, all the people that design those filter programs. I'm sure you have some very subtle programs, but I just think the best way to really get the image, what you want, is to go ahead and, you know, just make each little adjustment in each portion of the face look exactly how you want it, and that way you can keep all the texture. Like here, I've done some adjustments, and here we have some dark spot right in the middle of her cheek. Gonna try and get rid of those. And I don't know if I know it's really hard for you to see me do all this. Sometimes online, when it gets shrunken down to like 600 resolution, whatever, 640 by 480. But there's some real subtle things in here that you want to get rid of if you're going to be doing it this way. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of the major blemishes for now, right now. I see. And a lot of what I'm clearing up is noise actually caused by the fact that her face was in shadow compared to the rest of the image. It looks like to me. So I'm gonna just get what looks like it's gonna be there even after I clear out the noise right now. All right, so a couple last little specks here that I want to get rid of. All right, so her face is looking more clear. Right up in this area, it looks still kind of blotchy. So I'm just gonna grab anything that looks blotchy and try and match it with the colors around it to unblotch it. Awesome. That's awesome. light spot here. I'm just gonna move it to a dark area. I'm gonna get rid of, looks like a little piece of hair is coming up. Left a sharp edge here. I don't want that, so I'm gonna have a smaller selection. Do the same thing over again. I mean, for you, those of you unfamiliar what I'm doing, I'm using the patch tool, which is like right here. It's where the Band-Aid tool usually is, but if you hold it down, the Band-Aid tool, you get a selection of different things. The red eye tool, the patch tool, healing brush tool, the spot healing brush tool. Healing brush tool being the easiest for someone who's never used Photoshop to use, because it corrects problems that you just, I guess you wouldn't figure out on your own. The healing brush being a little bit harder, but a little bit more exact, and a little bit more, you have a lot more control over it. And patch tool being a lot more exact, having complete control. And if you get good at using this tool, really it makes your life a lot easier. When I first started using it over the healing brush tool, I was much faster with the healing brush tool. And after time, just using it, you'll notice that you can get much more exact results because you don't have to change your healing brush size constantly to make your adjustments. You just circle exactly the size. And when you're doing, let's look over the rest of our body here. When we're doing bigger things, like here, we got some pigmentation in her skin with a freckle, mixed with a freckle. You can just do big adjustments right away and then select the exact shape. And then you just move it to an area of skin where you want that's clear, basically. That's clear and looks very similar, almost exactly similar to what you want it to look like. So basically here's what it looked like with this blemish, not really a blemish, as a mole. And here's what we want, you know, you can move it all over and you'll see that the different, you know, patterns and shapes that you're moving it to appear where you're healing, and you just let go when you think it looks good. And you press Control D, was what I do, to deselect the area so you can actually see it without the marching ants around it, and see that you did a good job, or if you need to redo it. All right, so I'm just gonna go through her whole body. Now we're gonna look at the scars on her elbow. We can kind of get rid of all this stuff. Now, a lot of people are like, what are you doing? You know, this is too much detail. They don't want to do this much work for such a little effect. But, you know, if you're a perfectionist, you'll just sit here and do it. For whatever, you know, whatever effect you're going to get, you just get smoother skin tones. And leaving a few blemishes behind and having some imperfections in her skin actually adds to the quality of the photo. Because it'll have the appearance of being, you know, not too touched up. Or, you know, to some people, they won't know that it's been touched up. You know, they won't know that it's Photoshop because here they are, they see blemishes. She isn't exactly perfect, but all the parts that are important visually, or for the most part visually important, are going to be doctored in some way to give an enhanced look. But, you know, most people looking at it will not see that the enhancements have been done. And if you you know, ask them to point out where the enhancements have been done, most of the time they're going to get it wrong. They're not going to be able to guess exactly right. You know, they might be able to guess a curves adjustment, but, you know, was that done in camera before or after? You know, was it shot on film on a high contrast stock? I mean, they could be wrong about that. And that's what you want. You want an image in the end where if you say, tell me everything that's done, people have no idea. They start guessing. And I went ahead and cleaned up her skin enough for this purposes of this tutorial.